The 1 Piso coin of 2012 is part of the new Generation Currency NGC coin series that was issued by the Bangko Sentral NG Pilipinas (BSP). This coin represents not only Philippine monetary history but also the country's heritage, politics, and economy during the early 21st century. The 1 Piso denomination has a very long journey. Since the Spanish era, the peso was the unit of currency, but the designs, metal composition, and values changed over the decades. By 2012, the Philippine economy was adapting to modern banking systems, and coins had to be practical, durable, and distinct for everyday use. The obverse side of the 2012 1 Piso coin features the bust of José Rizal, the Philippine national hero. Rizal's inclusion symbolizes intellectual freedom, patriotism, and sacrifice for the nation's independence. His portrait had been used on different Piso coins since the 1980s, but in the 2012 NGC series, it was redesigned with a sharper, more modern look. The reverse side carries the new seal of the Bangko Sentral NG Pilipinas (BSP), which was introduced in 2010. This modernized logo replaced the older version that had been in use since the 1990s. It symbolizes stability in the banking system and the modernization of the Philippine economy. The coin is made of nickel-plated steel, giving it a silver-like appearance. Its round shape and smooth edges make it distinct from other denominations. The release of the 2012 coin was part of the BSP's currency reform program. The goal was to issue coins that were harder to counterfeit, easier to distinguish by sight and touch, and more durable for circulation. This was necessary because the older coins from the BSP series 1983-1993 and the improved Flora and Fauna series 1995 to 2003 were being phased out. At this time, the Philippine economy was experiencing steady growth, particularly under the administration of President Benigno Aquino III to 2010-2016. The coin reflects an era when the government emphasized financial reforms, banking security, and modernization. The 2012 1 Piso coin is symbolic in many ways. It carries the face of Rizal, representing knowledge, reform, and the Filipino spirit. The BSP seal symbolizes trust in the central banking system. Its metal composition shows the global trend of using cheaper but durable metals in coinage. This coin also circulated widely in everyday transactions, being one of the most commonly used coins for jeepney fares, small purchases, and daily trade. For ordinary Filipinos, it carried both economic and cultural value, collectible value. While most 2012 1 Piso coins remain in circulation and hold only face value, collectors may find certain coins more valuable if they are in uncirculated condition, brilliant, shine nowhere, or have minting errors such as misstrikes, double dies, or off-centered images. Such rare errors can increase the coin's worth beyond its denomination. Conclusion: the 1 Piso 2012 coin is not just small change but a marker of history. It reflects the Philippines. The word piso comes from the Spanish peso, meaning weight. When Spain colonized the Philippines in the 16th century, the peso became the standard currency, and Spanish silver coins like the famous pieces of 8 Real.8 circulated widely. This laid the foundation for the Philippine peso as the unit of currency. During the American occupation 1898 to 1946, the peso was restructured under the U.S. monetary system. Coins were struck in U.S. mints and bore both American and Filipino symbols. Later, during the Commonwealth period, designs began to focus more on Filipino identity and culture. Birth of the Republic and currency. Independence. After independence, in 1946, the Philippines sought a truly national currency. The Bangko Sentral NG Pilipinas (BSP), established in 1949, introduced coin series that reflected Filipino heroes, flora, fauna, and culture. Over time, the 1 Piso became a staple denomination in everyday life. José Rizal, the national hero, has been a recurring figure on Philippine coins. He first appeared on the 1974 1 Piso coin, and his image has remained on subsequent designs, including the 2012 coin. His presence symbolizes the role of education, reform, and sacrifice in the nation's history. 2012 issue. Several major Piso coin series existed. NG Bagong Lipunan ABL series, 1975 to 1982. Rizal first appeared here. Flora and Fauna series, 1983 to 1993. Showcase Philippine wildlife. Improved Flora and Fauna, 1995 to 2003. Updated designs. BSP coin series, 1995 to 2011. Featured heroes and the BSP seal. 2000s. These coins have become outdated, prompting the BSP to launch a new modern series. Introduction of the new Generation Currency NGC, Koi 20121. Piso coin was part of the NGC coin series introduced by the BSP to improve durability, reduce counterfeiting, and modernize designs. This series was also aligned with global trends in coinage. Technology. He obverse features. José Rizal with the inscription Republika NG Pilipinas. The reverse shows the BSP logo, redesigned in 2010, which includes 3 stars and a stylized Philippine eagle symbolizing strength and independence, made of nickel-plated steel. The 2012 1 Piso coin was cheaper to produce compared to earlier copper-nickel alloys. The choice of metal also made the coin more resistant to wear and gave it a modern, silvery finish. 9. Widespread circulation. The 2012 Piso was one of the most commonly used coins in daily life. It was used for jeepney and bus fares, market purchases, sari-sari store transactions, and vending machines. It held real power in the everyday Filipino economy. 2012. The Philippines was experiencing economic stability under President Benigno Aquino. 3. Reforms in governance, transparency, and banking align with the BSP's effort to modernize the currency system, making the coin symbolic of progress and stability. Placing Rizal on the coin highlighted his role as a national symbol of education, intellectual freedom. The coin belongs to the first generation of Philippine decimal coins issued after the country fully transitioned to the peso centavo system in the mid-1960s. It was part of a new coinage series introduced by the Central Bank of the Philippines, Bangko Sentral NG Pilipinas, reflecting the nation's cultural identity, history, and post-independence aspirations. 1968. The Philippines was experiencing economic and cultural transformation under the administration of President Ferdinand Marcos, who had taken office in 1965. The coinage system was still young, following the shift from the pre-1960s English series to the Filipino language series. This decade marked an era when the Philippine economy was gradually industrializing, urban centers were growing, and the central bank was pushing for modernization in currency design and production. The obverse front of the 1968 10 centimo coin features the portrait of Francisco Baltasar Balagtas, the great Filipino poet, playwright, and author, often considered the Prince of Tagalog poets. His most famous work, Florandi at Loras, symbolizes the richness of the Filipino literary tradition and the resilience of the national spirit. Above his portrait, the inscription Republika NG Pilipinas reinforces national pride. Below the bust is the year of mintage, 1968. The reverse back bears the coat of arms of the Philippines, featuring 3 stars and the sun, representing Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, a shield with a stylized American bald eagle recalling U.S. colonial history, and a lion from Spanish heraldry symbolizing the country's colonial past and independence struggle. The legend Bangko Sentral NG Pilipinas marking the issuing authority. 1968 10. Centimo had modest purchasing power, but could still buy small everyday goods, such as candies, local newspapers, or a portion of street food. Coins of this value were essential for giving exact change in public transportation fares, sari-sari store purchases, and small market transactions. The late 1960s were a politically dynamic time in the Philippines. The country was navigating between modernization and political tension. Infrastructure projects were on the rise, and there was a growing emphasis on Filipino cultural identity. The Filipino language was increasingly used on coins, banknotes, and official documents, a symbolic shift from English, representing national pride. This cultural awakening was mirrored in the coin designs, which featured national heroes, writers, and figures from Philippine history. For collectors today, the 1968 10 centimo coin is valued more for its historical importance than its metal content. Since it is a base metal coin, its market value depends on condition. Circulated, common, often worth only a few pesos to local collectors. Uncirculated mint state, much rarer and can attract collectors seeking complete year sets from the 1960s Filipino series. Proof